After my ordeal with the deacon and my mother, I felt so ashamed. I mean, how could I have done something so terrible? And the church trains you to feel like garbage about even the smallest infractions. There were so many unspoken rules and nuances that it was easy to make members feel like they were always doing something wrong. And if you think you're right with God, don't worry. The church and the pastor will be sure to show you all of your shortcomings. So always be on high alert. The difference for me, however, was I had a life before the church. Granted, I was pretty young when I went in, but it was enough where I knew that this was wrong. Everyone acted like I had committed some awful atrocity, but the truth is, it was just a movie. I had every intention of watching the movie for my own curiosity, but that was it. I wasn't going to leave. I didn't even think about it. I was just trying to reconcile what I knew of the world and how it had changed. Now, the more I thought about it, the more I started to realize just how ridiculous it was that I was being attacked over such a small thing. Clearly, a murderer is worse, or someone who stole or hurt children. I was just able to start seeing past the veil of their control and shaming. I spoke to both my father and my mother a couple of times over the next couple of days, and they both just wouldn't talk to me about how blown out of proportion this thing was. Both of them felt it was justified, and it was clear to me that they'd both lost their ability to reason, or at least they were ignoring their instincts. I knew this was no longer a place for me, and I decided that I needed to get out before I reached that point. And just like in any other toxic relationship, once you've decided to leave, you kind of have to work yourself up to it. So I started reading newspapers at work, magazines, history books, and pretty much anything I could get my hands on. I began to realize how much the church had lied to me because I found the internet. I looked up that cloud in the sky pic and saw how Jesus' face had been superimposed into that image, and I felt like such an idiot. I went to my mother and father and I showed them that it was fake. But of course, I was told that doubt was a sign of backsliding and that I needed to be prayed over. They just couldn't see it. And that was the last straw. I had met a young man at my job who knew a little bit of the story. I think his name was Bron. He was a Native American. If you're out there, I don't think you know how much you helped me. He was a little older than me, but still lived at home. He told me that I could come and stay with him if I needed to get out. So one Friday night after work, I decided to see what it was all about and hung out the weekend with Brian and his family.